Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. This is Dr. Kondrot. And thank all of you for joining me. I'm going to start by going through some slides, just how to get oriented to my website and how you can access important information that may help you understand better my program and how I might be able to help you. How does that sound? So I'm going to do a screen share here and then after that, it'll just be a couple of minutes. I'm going to open it up for questions. Let's see. And if you can make sure that you're muted during the presentation. Here we go. Okay, everybody can see my screen and hopefully everybody can hear me. Let's see, meeting. I'm going to be muting everybody. I hope I don't mute myself. Can you hear me? Okay. I just finished the first day of our vision event, and we had two phenomenal speakers. We had Dr. Jacob Lieberman and Dr. Craig Brown, who's a holistic ophthalmologist. And maybe some of you have attended the event. We just finished it. And it's going to be 3 more Saturday afternoons. It's a total of 4 Saturday afternoons, 2 lectures each day. You can go to Vision Event 2023 to get more information on that. visionevent2023.com. So, are you new to the website? The best way to really find out how I can help you is begin by reading my book, The 10 Essentials to Save Your Sight. We also have a webinar on the 10 Essentials. I have a link for that. And I do offer a complimentary record review just to see if you qualify for one of my programs. But if you go to healingtheeye.com, there are 3 areas to investigate. One is, are you new to this site? The second one is download my book, The 10 Essentials to Save Your Sight. That's a free download, and also click on this area of information on the vision event. So let's start, are you new to this site? The first step is to download my best-selling book. And of course, many of you have vision problems, and if you do have difficulty reading, you can click this link to listen to my 10 Essentials webinar, where I go over kind of a summary that's in my best-selling book. The next thing is to find out more about your condition, whether it's cataracts, glaucoma, macular degeneration, dry eyes, floaters, whatever. I have given some webinars, and they're all on YouTube. So you can listen to find out more about your particular condition. The next step is to get a free eye record review. And this is no charge to you. I'll personally review your eye records and make recommendations on steps that you can take to help restore your lost vision. I'll review your records and I make notes, and then one of my assistants will call you up and relay the information. It's not possible for me to talk to everybody because usually that ends up being a long conversation and a lot of different questions, but I will review your records, make recommendations, and Chris will give you a call and relay the information. The next thing is to look at common therapies that I use. You may be interested in microcurrent, homeopathy, ozone, light therapy, or chelation. I have all these educational videos that you can review. And remember, you get all this information by going to my website, healingtheeye.com, and click Are You New to the Site? It's very easy to find this information. Download my book, Investigate the Vision Event. These are some of the speakers, phenomenal speakers at the Vision Event. Today, we had Dr. Jacob Lieberman, who has a phenomenal reputation in terms of understanding light therapy, light and emotions. He's written 4 books. And Dr. Craig Brown, who's an ophthalmologist, who's done some research on the nutritional approach to reversing eye disease. That was just finished on the 25th. Dr. Vega, who's a friend of mine, brilliant alternative doctor, is going to be talking about using essential oils to reverse different problems, including macular degeneration, glaucoma, etc. And then Carl Robinson is going to be talking about homeopathy, which is my passion. I like the homeopathic approach. Then March 4th, John Trowbridge is going to talk about chelation. Dr. Charles McWilliams is going to be talking about ether medicine, using subtle energy to restore your health. And then we close on March 11th. Dr. Frank Schallenberg, who's actually Mr. Ozone, is going to be speaking on ozone therapy. And the last speaker is going to be me, evidence for alternative therapies. Some of you may be interested, is there documentation that these therapies do work? There's a link here, peer review studies. I was a co-author in a major book on vision restoration, and you can download the chapter that I wrote. I also published an article on treating Stargardt's macular degeneration with microcurrent that was published. And I also did an article on a review of 295 eyes that I treated using different alternative therapies. And all these were published in peer-reviewed journals. At the bottom of the website is frequently asked questions. What is homeopathy? What is microcurrent? What can I do to help you? So there's a lot of information there that can help you kind of get oriented, to understand kind of the work that I do. I'm a board certified ophthalmologist. I've been practicing ophthalmology probably for 45 years, and I also have a passion for alternative treatments. I became interested in alternative treatments when my adult onset asthma, I almost died twice, was cured with homeopathy. And I said, my goodness, I have to investigate this when traditional doctors didn't help me. And that opened up a whole universe for me at homeopathy, alternative treatments, IV therapies. And so I'm here to help you find the best solution to your vision problem. And I wear 2 hats. I'm that board certified ophthalmologist. I know the surgical side of it, but I also know the alternative side. And my approach typically is, let's try to get your health back. Let's try to get your vision back without doing surgery or injections, all these things. So I'm going to stop the screen show here. And I can see everybody here at this meeting, and you can see me. So there's a couple ways we can communicate. One is you can type a question in the chat. Oh, the first question is, if we signed up for the vision event but missed it today, can we still view it? Yep, everything's going to be recorded. It'll be in the library for you. So one is you can type the question in the chat, or you can raise your hand. There's a little icon down below. And I see somebody has their hand raised. Sun Moon, you have the first question. Lower your hand.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Can
you hear me, doctor?
I hear you, but I can't see you. Where?
My video is not on.
Okay. But I can hear you, yes.
Okay, good afternoon. I have a couple questions. One is about homeopathy. Um, is it safe to take homeopathy long term? And does homeopathy contain dairy? Like if I have dairy allergy, can I still take it? And do we need to stop eating onion, garlic, and drinking coffee when we do homeopathy remedies? And the last one about homeopathy, does it contain steroid?
Okay, you have a lot of questions regarding homeopathy, and let me try to answer each part of that question. Number one is homeopathy is subtle energy. As a homeopathic doctor, we believe that the body has the power to heal itself. Usually homeopathic remedies don't cause any allergies. In fact, we use homeopathy to treat allergies. Also, homeopathy does not contain any steroids. There's a misconception. A lot of people think, oh, homeopathy is vitamins, nutrition, stress reduction. No, homeopathy is a specific approach to disease. A homeopathic doctor believes that the body has a wisdom to heal. The body has an intelligence. And it may seem kind of strange. When my asthma was cured with homeopathy, I received a medication that actually causes asthma. And you may be thinking, why do that? Isn't that going to make your asthma worse? Well, if you believe your body has a wisdom, we produce symptoms and problems because our body needs those symptoms to maintain homeostasis. For example, when you get a fever, if your body has a wisdom, you need a fever. Maybe it has to increase the temperature to fight the disease. So the traditional doctor typically treats with opposites. So if you have a fever, you take a medicine that lowers your fever. Homeopathy, oh, the body has a wisdom. Let's give something which actually causes a fever. Now you may be thinking, that's crazy, Dr. Kondrot. Wouldn't that make the fever go higher? Well, actually, it eliminates the fever. Same thing with diarrhea. If you have diarrhea, we give you homeopathic remedies that cause diarrhea. But they're given in such a dilute strength that it kind of stabilizes the body, gets the body back to homeostasis. So it's a very, very complex topic to talk about homeopathy. But at the Vision event, Dr. Carl Robinson, who's been practicing homeopathy, I think, for 50 years, is going to be speaking. So he's an excellent speaker. You can also go to my YouTube site called, go to Kondrot YouTube. And I do have a couple of YouTube videos on homeopathy explaining what it is. But I like that approach because homeopathy believes that we have an innate ability to heal ourselves. So when I had my asthma, I was on 3 medications. I was having side effects. I was miserable. And one homeopathic remedy cured me of my asthma. And I know it wasn't a placebo because the first homeopathic remedy I took, it didn't do anything for me. And it was going to be a placebo effect. It should have caused a positive response then. The second remedy, maybe a little bit, but the third remedy, it was like a light switch was turned on. Complete resolution of my asthma. And I had a mental and emotional change too.
Okay, so do we need to stop eating onion, garlic, and coffee?
No, absolutely not. I don't believe you need to make any dietary changes with homeopathy.
Okay, so if I have dairy allergy, I can still take the homeopathy medicines.
Yes.
Okay, I have one more question. I know that you recommend taking vitamin C, but that is corn free. Do you recommend any particular brand of vitamin C that does not come from corn?
Well, you have to look at the label. I think that we're looking at the vitamin C from tapioca. There's different natural brands out there.
Okay, all right, perfect. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
But my belief is that even though I do recommend vitamins and nutritional products for patients, I do believe that food is our best medicine.
Mm.
I mean, if God wanted us to take vitamins, he would grow them on trees. I think we really have to look at our diet.
Okay, so talking about vitamin,
healthy lifestyle, organic, raw fruits and vegetables, and avoid genetically modified foods and toxins.
So talking about vitamin C and glutathione, which are necessary for preventing cataract, I should do my spectral cell testing, spectral cell vitamins and mineral testing every year from 2017. And I never had deficiency in vitamin C and glutathione, never ever from past 5 years. But now I have cataract. And in 2022 December, when I did the testing, I am low in vitamin C and glutathione. I was never ever low. So it is making me wonder, when we get cataract, does the body pull away the vitamin C and glutathione to support the cataract?
Well, what happens is as we get older and we're under stress and we're exposed to toxins, we have an increased demand for good nutrition. And everybody's different. When you're under stress, you probably need more vitamin C and antioxidants. And I do believe that cataracts are related to nutrition primarily, but also heavy metals. You know, we're constantly being exposed to toxins in the environment. And one of my approaches, you need to be evaluated for heavy metals. If you do have lead and mercury elevated in your body, those should be treated because they're a contributing factor to our decrease in vision.
Because I live in the Cayman Islands, how would I get tested for heavy metals?
Well, the best way to get tested for heavy metals is a urine challenge test. You could be dying of lead poisoning, and if the doctor measures your urine and blood, it'll be normal because the lead doesn't stay in your blood. It goes into your bone, your brain, your eye. It goes deep into your tissue. So you need to take a chelating agent and then collect your urine. And we do have testing kits we could probably send to you in the Cayman Island in a FedEx package, and then you ship it back to the lab here in the United States.
Okay, all right, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Oh, thank you. Oh yeah, there's a question here about supplements. I'm leaning towards Ocufolin now. One of the doctors that I interviewed, I need a glass of water here. One of the doctors I interviewed is doing research on medical food, and Ocufolin has some good studies. The biggest problem right now with vitamins is that so many of our vitamins are contaminated. It's just, you know, over the years, I've been having more and more difficulty getting good quality products for my vitamin line. With the manufacturing, a lot of the ingredients are coming from China, they're contaminated. And it really breaks my heart when people are taking vitamins and they think it's actually benefiting them. And in some cases, it's actually making them worse. So you really have to be careful about vitamin supplements. You really got to look at them carefully. And so right now I'm leaning more towards Ocufolin as a good, it's a medical food supplement. And the studies are there that show that it can really help with a lot of chronic eye problems. And some of you may have listened at the Vision event and heard Dr. Braun speak. Those of you that haven't, if you wanted to sign up for the Vision event, you'll have access to all of those recordings. But I have to emphasize that don't look at vitamins as a shortcut to good health. I think, you know, food is our best medicine and we are what we eat. We really got to look at what we're putting into our body.
So doctor, for vitamin C, would you recommend 2 oranges a day, or what would you recommend?
Well, the best source of vitamin C is in the food that we eat, but unfortunately, we're probably not going to get enough vitamin C in eating oranges or lemons or citrus food.
Okay, all right.
And then once again, you know, there's really no shortcut to good health. You know, just because you're going to be starting vitamin C doesn't mean it's going to reverse all of your health issues. I think it begins by looking at your diet and your nutrition. You have a well-balanced diet. Colorful food will give you colorful vision. You want a variety of fruits and vegetables because, it's just not vitamin C. There's a lot of bioflavonoids, there's luteins, zeaxanthin in the food. There's, plant-based oils. All these things are necessary to keep our body healthy. It's not like there's a shortcut. You take one vitamin and you're going to regain your health. And that's been my approach. I kind of look at you as a person. How much stress do you have in your life? What is your diet like? Do you have any other health issues, cardiovascular issues, diabetes? Are you overweight? And we have to approach by, your general health and your well-being.
Or a compromised gut.
And also the health of your gut.
Yeah.
If you have an unhealthy gut, you have diarrhea, constipation, that indicates that probably you're not digesting and absorbing your food properly. And more alternative doctors are understanding that, you really need a healthy gut. And by taking antibiotics and eating genetically modified food, that's destroying our gut. And our ancestors knew how to maintain a healthy gut, and that was by eating a lot of good fermented foods. Kimchi, sauerkraut, yogurt, the fermented foods help bring back the health of our gut.
Is it okay to eat non-GMO corn?
I think that you have to be careful with corn because there are some molds that grow even on organically raised corn. Fumicin is the mold, which has been linked to a lot of toxic reactions in the eye. We have to be careful with corn. I think in the United States, 90% of corn is genetically modified. And you may be thinking, well, if I eat one ear of corn, it's not going to hurt me. But studies have shown that even eating one genetically modified tortilla chip changes the structure of your gut, introducing, genetically modified food, the Roundup spray. So I'm not saying avoid corn, just be careful with corn. And the other big problem is all the sweeteners now are high fructose corn syrup. And it's made from genetically modified corn. And so that's a problem.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. No wonder my eyesight got worse because from past few months, I've been eating zochital corn chips with my hummus. Just a few. Oh, maybe. And I've been wondering why my eyesight is getting worse, why my cataract is getting worse.
Well, they've done studies with cataracts, and the glutathione levels and the ascorbic acid or vitamin C levels are decreasing in the aqueous. That's the fluid that bathes the lens of the eye. There is a product called Oclumed, which I like. It's an eye drop that has glutathione precursors and vitamin C. And so you use it on the eye itself. And that's probably the only eye drop I have found that actually can reverse cataracts. It's called glutathione. Also, anytime I talk to a patient with cataracts, I always recommend they do get tested for heavy metals. There's been so many studies done to show that elevated lead is linked to the development of cataracts. So if you have elevated lead, you need to get that taken care of by chelation. Lead is tough to remove from the body. The half-life of lead, let's say you have 1 gram of lead in your body. Let's say you don't do anything. You just drink plenty of water and eat well. The half-life of lead is 99 years. In other words, you have to live 99 more years and that gram of lead will go down to a half a gram.
Oh.
So you do need aggressive chelation therapy. And I like EDTA, which is a chelating agent that many alternative doctors use. You can either do it intravenously, orally, or rectally. And my approach has always been to empower you as a patient So I usually advise my patients to take an oral chelating agent along with the rectal suppository. This is something you can do on your own at home, do it daily. The IVs are more effective, but they're very costly. You have to travel to a doctor's office. You become dependent on the doctor.
Okay. Here
Oh,
in Cayman,
Oclumed, Oclumed, Oclumed.
actually, I bought the Oclumed, but it reacted on me. My eyes got blurry and they became very red after 3 days, so I had to stop it.
That's very, very unusual. Do you have a lot of allergies then?
I do have some food allergies, yes, gluten, dairy, and coke.
Yeah, see, that has to be addressed. It's not normal to have a lot of allergies like that. So we may want to look at the homeopathic treatment of the allergies to try to strengthen your body.
Okay. Okay.
There's a question here. Do you recommend jumping on a rebounder to move your lymph system? Well, any exercise you do is going to be moving your lymph system. And those of you that live in a northern climate and it's cold outside, you're not going to be riding your bicycle or running or walking. So I like the rebounder because it doesn't take up much space in your room. You get on the rebounder and you bounce up and down, you jog and you move yourself, and it has been very, very effective for moving the lymph. Studies have shown that the rebounder can help lower the intraocular pressure if you have glaucoma. But of course, any exercise will lower the intraocular pressure, whether it's cycling, jogging, exercise in general. Because remember, with glaucoma, the problem is twofold. One, you have high pressure, and sometimes you need eye drops to lower the pressure. But the other issue is the health of the optic nerve. So anything you can do to improve the health of the optic nerve is going to be beneficial. Exercise will improve the blood flow. Meditation, deep breathing, positive affirmations, because when you're under stress, there's physiological things that take place when you're under stress, and you get peripheral constriction of your blood vessels. Your digestive process is slow, and your body healing process is slow. Because when you're under stress, you're worried about survival. So when you're in a relaxed state, that's when the body can regenerate and thrive. And of course, if you do have an eye problem and you're losing your vision and the doctor's telling you you're going blind and you need surgery, he's not really helping you relax your autonomic nervous system. He's probably making it worse. So one thing we have to do is to help quiet that autonomic nervous system so your body will heal. Remember, if you're under stress, most treatments aren't going to help. So sometimes it's just addressing the stress. The question about Oclumed, it is an over-the-counter eye drop. You don't need a prescription. And Oclumed does not have any soy in it. Oh, Susan, your hand's up. I didn't see you.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to ask you to spell that Oclumed again for me, please.
Okay, it's in the chat.
Oh,
Oclumed.
okay.
And we do sell it in our office. And I think that we try to keep our price as low as possible. We beat the price on Amazon. I'm proud to say that. In fact, we don't make any money selling the Oclumed. I just want to make it affordable for patients.
So what do I just call Chris to order that from you?
Yeah, give Chris a call and
Okay.
she can help you out.
All right. Thank you.
But remember, it's more than taking the Oclumed. I mean, that the Oclumed will help it. You got to be tested for your heavy metals. You also have to look at your diet. The old ophthalmologists in the 1800s, they talk about 3 poisons that lead to a cataract: salt, sugar, and hard water. They felt that those were the 3 things. And so there's no question we have too much sugar in our diet. We have too much salt. Hard water may be questionable. but I do believe that, you should purify your water for drinking, either reverse osmosis or a distiller, to get rid of a lot of the toxic material that's in our water. Look at the poor folks in East Palestine. Their water supply is contaminated with vinyl chloride. And all the pollutants that are going into our water systems. So you really have to be careful with the water.
Is it okay to do the 24-hour urine test for lead? Because we have that here where I live.
I do the 6-hour urine test. You could do a 24-hour urine test, but it's important you have a challenge. If you just collect your urine without taking a challenge agent, it's not going to be very effective. You need to take a chelating agent to draw out any lead that might be in your body. That's the truly accurate way to see if you do have elevated lead or elevated mercury.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you so much.
Let's see, Jody, your hand is up.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yep, I hear you.
All right. I have submitted and apparently you have reviewed my records. My eye doctor has changed in the past 2 years, and I just don't know how much of the other stuff that you are aware of. When I went to the eye doctor last time, she saw that I had cataracts and recommended surgery, and I found out about you, so I'm exploring this. I also have astigmatism and macular degeneration. Are those simultaneously addressed within looking at the cataracts, or are all those different protocols?
Well, everybody after the age of 50 will develop cataracts. It's kind of a normal change that takes place in the eye, but not everybody will need surgery. And I would say everybody after 60 begins to get some macular degeneration. That's like me asking you, well, when do you develop wrinkles on your skin?
When I stop using oil of Olay.
Okay. Well, of course, you got to use oil of Olay.
Right.
But
yeah.
if you take care of yourself, I've seen folks that are 60 that look like they're 80. They haven't taken care of themselves. They're not aging gracefully. Now, my wife is 60 and she looks like a 40-year-old, no wrinkles at all. She's here next to me, so because she takes care of herself.
Right.
So some of these things that are developing in your body are, I don't want to say normal aging changes, but changes that take place as we get older. The goal is, what can we do to slow these changes, to keep you healthy, and to prevent you from needing surgery or injections? So what is going on with your body? What is the underlying cause? Now, most eye doctors, they want to rush you right into surgery. You have cataracts and they're going to schedule it the next day. And the question you have to ask yourself is, are you limited with the cataracts? I have cataracts. And I'm not going to have surgery, even though every time I go to the doctor, they go, hey, Dr. Kondrot, you should get these removed. Better to take them out now. If you wait too long, it's going to be harder, But I'm not limited with my vision. I may have a little bit of trouble driving at night and bright lights bother me, but I'm able to function. I'm able to read. I'm able to do eye surgery on mission trips without any limitation. So the first question, even though the doctor talked to you about cataract surgery, how are you limited? Are you able to function? Are you able to do most of your activities?
I can.
Yeah, there's no reason to have the surgery done, but it would be nice to know what's causing the cataracts, or what can you do to help slow the process? Amen. And, the 3 things you need to do, and they're the first 3 chapters in my book, 10 Essentials to Save Your Sight, is 1, you've got to really look at what you're putting into your body. Number 2, you need proper hydration. drinking good, healthy water and plenty of it is the best way to detoxify your body. And the third thing you need to do is reduce stress. I mean, we all have stress in our life, and we just need to do things to help reduce that stress.
Right. So if I've submitted my stuff to you, I've gotten recommendations back from Chris, who has been a dream to work with. And so let me.
Oh, well, thank you.
And so just install a jacuzzi at her house so that she can recuperate well when she gets home. So part of this is that are all these different things, and she actually gave me prices for different kind of sprays and the different things that were recommended. But what I don't know is, I mean, how long does this go on? For the rest of my life? For 3 months? Or is it totally person by person?
Okay, let's get back to the oil of Olay.
Okay.
When you go to the counter and they recommend you take oil of Olay, oh, how long am I going to use this? Just a week? A month? It's something you're going to be doing. You have to be incorporated in your life. It's like, how long do I have to change my diet and eat well? I mean, your body's aging. So you want to do things to help slow that aging process. So most of the things that I recommend is things you're going to have to continue.
They're ongoing. Okay.
Unless we discover the underlying problem. Let's say that we detect that you have elevated lead. Well, the elevated lead is putting a stress on your life. Let's say you're going through some other stress in your life, maybe financial, maybe marital, maybe your job. We have to somehow lessen those factors that are causing problems with your body.
Mm-hmm.
So reducing stress is a big one. Finding out underlying causes, maybe it's diet, nutrition, poor hydration, looking at all these factors.
Okay. I get it. And right before we go off, you could guess how old I am, and then we'll just go blank after that. Okay. In the meantime, I
was going to ask you, where's your mother?
Where's my mother?
Yeah.
I don't get
Little
it.
girl, where's your mother?
Oh, little girl, where's my mother? Well, part of my interest in this is that my mother was diagnosed with wet macular degeneration, and I went to the doctors with her when she got the shots in the eye, and I do not want to go through that myself.
Oh no, those shots are horrible. And but let me make a comment about the shots. Sometimes you need the shots.
Right.
But I want to do everything possible for my patients so they will avoid the shots and not need them.
Right. Okay.
And I do think if you embrace alternative therapies, we can reduce or eliminate those injections.
Okay. Could you talk a little bit about the microcurrent thing? I was listening to one of your learnings, and what I thought the guy said was that the microcurrents actually take things from our bone marrow and help reconfibulate, and you have a much more articulate way of dealing with this. But at the moment, I do have osteoporosis. So would that indicate that the microcurrent wouldn't be effective for me?
I don't know where you got that information, but microcurrent, we use a very, very low current, a microamp,
Yeah.
which is a millionth of an amp. And the low current with specific frequencies has been shown to improve circulation.
Right.
Also been shown to improve oxygenation,
Mm-hmm.
help regeneration,
Right.
and everything that is healthy. There was one study done that showed it increases mitochondrial activity by 500%. The mitochondria is like the powerhouse of your cell. It's
Right.
like the engine.
Right.
If it's working, your cell's working. And my goodness, if it can increase the function of the engine by 500%, it's taking dysfunctional tissue,
Mm-hmm.
tissues in your eye that are sick, and making them healthy again.
Okay.
So I don't know where you got this about the bone,
Well,
but
that's
we
what
did-
I thought I heard, and it was in the fourth thing to watch when I got all of your information. So I will.
no, there are some frequencies that'll stimulate stem cells.
Yeah, maybe that's what
Um,
it is.
So the stem cells are located in the bone, but stem cells are circulating all throughout our body. As we get older, our stem cells are not as strong and healthy. So the microcurrent does help stimulate stem cell function.
Yes.
But to be honest with you, eating well, reducing stress, all these things will stimulate stem cells. When you're sick and under stress, your stem cells don't work. If you're depressed, anxious, the stem cells are a reflection of your body.
Okay. All right. And with the light therapy, can you just talk a little bit about that? What the light stuff is?
Well, we had a really great speaker at the Vision event, Dr. Jacob Lieberman. He spoke about light. And light is a way to help balance your autonomic nervous system, stimulate healing and regeneration. We use different light frequencies and different colors. The easiest explanation is that red light tends to stimulate your body. Blue light tends to relax it.
Okay.
Green light is perfect harmony. So usually in our life, we go between red and blue. We're exhausted. We need the red light. We have inflammation, swelling. We need the blue to quiet us. So it's a whole science that we use to use different wavelengths of light to help balance your body and to help the body heal.
Okay. And I'm handheld by Chris or someone, should I decide to go through your program and
Yeah, talk to Chris about the next step.
Okay.
But our approach is getting a good nutritional plan for you, developing certain programmed microcurrent frequencies that'll help you.
Okay.
Also a homeopathic remedy and a specific light therapy for you.
Okay. And all of that is part of your program, and I will get more
All of
details.
it is part of the program. Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. And
Oh, thank you. Oh, and we have a PH. You have your hand up?
Yes, how are you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions. First of all, the ozone therapy. If you do that ozone therapy like a dialysis machine they do, they take the blood out and then ozonate the blood and then put it back in your body. Does that
Well, there's
help you?
different. It's not that drastic. There is a type of ozone therapy called major autohemotherapy, where they take a small amount of blood, maybe 10 cc's, and then mix it with ozone, put it back in your body. It's not like kidney dialysis where they transfuse your blood.
No, the one they call EBU, where they hook up the IV in one arm and then they hook up another IV in another arm. So they take your blood, go through the machine, ozonate the blood, and as well as go through the UV rays or something and goes through the filter and they put it back. So they say about 5 liters of blood goes through the system.
Well, what I'm familiar with is we draw maybe 10 cc's of blood, and then we put it back into your body through UV light. I'm not familiar, or I don't think it's that safe, and that's kind of drastic to do a complete blood transfusion like that.
Okay. And what about the ozone drops putting in your eyes? Would that help?
What I like is either rectal insufflation or auricular ozone. See, I like to empower my patients. I want you to become independent, not depending on going to a doctor and getting a major transfusion and paying a lot of money. If you buy an ozone generator and put it in a bag and do rectal insufflation or get a stethoscope and wear it. I mean, during the COVID epidemic, I was doing auricular ozone and rectal ozone at home. I had a tank of oxygen, an ozone generator, and I like to empower my patients to use ozone at home, not dependent on a doctor. Now, the ozonated eye drops are good for dry eyes, irritation, but there's really not enough ozone that's absorbed into your body to help with serious eye problems like macular degeneration or glaucoma. So the ozone eye drops are mainly used for dry eyes and irritation, that type of thing.
Okay, so you won't help for the floaters or blurry vision.
It may help with blurry vision if the cause of the blurry vision is dry eyes or irritation on the front part of your eye.
I see. And so what
If you go to my YouTube channel, I have 3 YouTube videos, one on rectal insufflation, one on auricular or using the ears, and one on ozone eye drops. And you'll learn a lot more how to get it set up and how to use it.
I see. Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for your questions.
Doctor, the homeopathy pellets, do they have sugar? Is it okay to take it long term, or will it contribute to cataracts?
It's a very tiny amount. The pellets are really small. And I use LM potencies in liquid, so there's no sugar.
Okay,
There's
thank
different
you.
ways of taking homeopathic remedies. I like the LM. LMs tend to be more gentle to your body, and there's no sugar. It's mainly liquid.
What is LM?
LM is Roman numeral 50,000. That's the dilution ratio. LM.
So that's a liquid, not a pellet.
It's a liquid, yes.
Okay.
I like the LM potencies. I find them to be more gentle. And also, when you take the LMs, you don't have to be real strict. When you take the pellets, the homeopathic doctor will tell you, avoid mint, don't drink coffee, on and on and on. You have a list of about 100 things you can't do. When you take the LMs, you can just continue your life.
Are they widely available, the LM?
I'm sorry?
Are they available everywhere, the LM that you talk about?
They usually are available at a better, higher level homeopathic pharmacy.
Okay.
I deal with a pharmacy in California, Hahnemann Homeopathic Pharmacy. There's one in England, Helios is excellent. Usually the LMs need to be prescribed by a professional homeopath, a doctor.
Okay.
You can't buy them in the drugstore over the counter.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
There's a question here, and a good question. Could teeth root canal treatment cause macular degeneration? There is a correlation between dental problems and eye issues. In fact, there's a joke that if you have an eye problem, you should first see your dentist. I don't know if that's true, but I've seen a lot of patients where they have cavitations, they have root canals, and a lot of their eye problems began right along that time. So we do look at that. We do look at that. But on the other hand, when you get dental work done and root canals and cavitations, that can be extremely, extremely expensive. So sometimes it's not possible to do those drastic measures to have all this dental work done. We just want to start with the basics to see how your body reacts to that. Maybe nutrition, homeopathic remedy, microcurrent, etc. There's another question here. Has microcurrent helped all your patients that you used? Well, in the article that I published, 85% of the patients that used microcurrent had benefit, significant benefit. So to answer that question, not everybody benefits. And of course, one of my areas of interest is why do some people do extremely well with microcurrent and others don't? And I think that all has to do with the person, their underlying nutritional state, their stress state, But generally speaking, most of the patients that do microcurrent do have a favorable response. It's almost like saying, well, exercise helped me lose weight. Well, if you exercise faithfully and do other things, you will lose weight. But I know some people that exercise and they actually gain weight. So that would be people that don't do well with exercise. You may want to look at an article that I published. I reviewed 295 eyes that I treated with microcurrent based on different eye problems. And I've done a statistical analysis looking at the results. And that's available on my website. And you can talk to Chris about that. If you can't find it, she can send you that article.
Would microcurrent be safe for somebody who has had a history of CSR, central serous retinopathy?
Actually, we use microcurrent to treat CSR. Microcurrent reduces inflammation. It can be very, very effective. CSR is an inflammatory state where there's a lot of inflammation in the eye, and we can quiet it with microcurrent.
Okay, in CSR, the fluid leaks behind the retina.
Yeah, it's like a little blister on your eye.
Okay, so the microcurrent will not cause the fluid to leak again from that scar.
No, we use microcurrent to reduce the inflammation.
Okay, all right, thank you.
There's another question here about, you talk about plant-based omega supplements. And there's a misconception. I really feel that omega oils are essential for good eye health and good cardiovascular health. There's a problem with fish oils. There's a Professor Peskin out of MIT who did some research on the dangers of fish oil. And when I first heard him talk, I actually walked out of his lecture. I said, this guy's crazy, because in medical school, they bombarded my head with fish oils are good for you. Take them, take them. And I started to think about what he talked about. And then I consulted with my good friend, Dr. Robert Rowan, who is one of the top alternative doctors in the country. And he said to me, Ed, this guy Peskin's right on. His research is really revealing some scary things about fish oils. The problems with fish oils, most fish oils become rancid at room temperature. You leave a fish on your kitchen counter, it's going to stink by the end of the day. Also, the oils are contaminated with mercury. We know our oceans are polluted. Also, fish oils are not the parent oil, they're a derivative oil. The fish eat plants or whatever, and they convert it to a derivative oil, which is not absorbed as readily in the body. So Peskin, Dr. Rowan, and myself, I feel that plant-based omega oils are the best for you. And there is a product called Yes, Y-E-S Essentials, which has the right balance of the omega oils. And I recommend those for my patients. Now, I'm not against eating fish, but I do think it's a problem when you take large amounts of fish oil that probably becomes rancid, has high levels of mercury, and it's not the best form for your body. It's the plant-based oils. And the product is called Yes, the Essentials. Oh, a good question here. Which product would you recommend for blepharitis and dry eyes? Ozonated eye drops are probably wonderful for blepharitis and dry eyes. And once again, blepharitis is inflammation, and it could be related to your diet, could be related to heavy metals. So everything, you got to get back to basics. You got to look at your diet, proper hydration, reducing stress. Blepharitis and dry eyes can be a really chronic problem, a lot of discomfort, and ozonated eye drops can be wonderful, wonderful. When an acupuncturist connects needles to electrical stimulation, is that microcurrent? Well, a lot of acupuncturists use electrical stimulation, but it's a much higher level. It's not a micro amp, it's a milliamp. They want to stimulate the acupuncture meridians. Now, I'm not against acupuncture. I think acupuncture can be wonderful. It can benefit your overall health and your eye. But I like the low-level microcurrent much better. I think it's safer, and we have developed frequencies specific for your particular eye problem. And once again, I like to empower you. Acupuncture works, but you got to go to an acupuncturist once or twice a week. And I like to empower you. Once you invest in the microcurrent machine, this is something that you can do every day on your eyes. And also we have programs to reduce inflammation, treat arthritis, digestion. I know anytime I go hiking, I always take my microcurrent machine with me. Anytime I get some musculoskeletal problem, microcurrent just takes care of it almost instantly because it dramatically reduces inflammation. A few years ago, my wife and I, we ran the Marine Corps Marathon, 26.2 miles. I had no business running it. I was in my 60s at that time, and oh my God, my body was so sore. And after 30 minutes of microcurrent, it just melted away all the pain. And that convinced me that if it can reduce the inflammation in my body that quickly, it's going to be reducing inflammation and problems in my eyes too. Oh, where do you get the ozone drops for the eyes? Well, give the office a call because you need to invest in a little ozone generator and make your own. You can't buy ozone eye drops because the half-life of ozone and saline is 2 hours. So when 2 hours go by, half the ozone's gone. So you have to make your own ozone. I have a YouTube video on that. Go to Kondrot YouTube. You can find it there, or talk to Chris and she could send you a link.
Would you recommend any particular color therapy glasses for cataract?
Well, it depends on the type of cataract you have.
Nuclear?
And also it depends on your emotional state.
Mm-hmm.
So I just can't, recommend a particular color for you.
Okay.
That's part of the evaluation. When you participate in my program, I, find out your emotional state, the type of cataract. There are probably generally maybe 3 or 4 different types of cataracts. Some cataracts are due to aging, some are due to trauma, some are due to toxins. So we want to specifically have a color therapy and homeopathic treatment specifically for you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm looking if anybody else has their hand up. There's no more questions in the chat here. Anything else on your mind? Patrick, I need to unmute. Okay, now I hear you.
I just have a question about chelation. I guess there's a way that you can perform chelation, that it would be selective. Wouldn't remove all the metals where you have to replace them later on with good metals?
That's a good question. The heavy metals like lead and mercury, they are huge metals. They're big bullies.
Okay.
They're about 1,000 times larger than the good guys, the magnesium, the zinc, selenium. So the chelation has maybe 1,000-fold greater attraction to the heavy metals.
Okay.
So it is true that you're going to remove some of the essential minerals, but usually they attack the big guys. It's not a problem.
Okay, I take magnesium for my heart, and I take that daily, and I appreciate your comments about the mega oils. Also, I buy a lot of my supplements from a pharmacy. It's a compound pharmacy. I figured that was safe, but what you're recommending is even better, I suppose. I mean, it's Oculomed.
Ocufolin. Ocufolin is a pill that has a lot of essential ingredients for eye health.
Okay.
The Oculomed is an eye drop for cataracts.
Oh, I don't have. I've already had my cataracts removed. So what's that what you call, what did you call that other something? Folin?
Ocufolin. You
How do
can
you
give
spell it?
Chris in the office.
Okay, got it, okay. And I just thought maybe by going to the pharmacy, but I guess, you know, at the time I didn't know what else to do, to buy some vitamins and supplements that would be safe. I guess that's all I have
I
for now.
would check out the Ocufolin.
Ocufolin. Okay, I'll do that. Thank you. So I'm sorry I missed your session. I thought it was at 3 o'clock, but it was at 1 o'clock, so I got mixed up. But I'm going to pull up the recording of it and listen to it. I appreciate your fine advice. And
Oh, well, thank you. And the recording should be available in a couple days.
Yeah, okay.
I have to
very
wait
good.
to download it. I'm going to edit it. But if you signed up for the vision event, I'll be sending you a link for the recording.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. And another question here. When you send Chris the records, typically I try to get back within a day or two.
Mhm.
As Chris gets the records, she emails them to me and I review them. So give us a couple of days.
Okay.
And there's a question here. I do have limitations with my vision with the cataracts. Is surgery unavoidable? I'd have to take a look at your records. I mean, obviously, if the cataracts are really advanced, I don't think any alternative treatment's going to reverse them. So I'd have to take a look at your records to give my opinion on that. And also, it never hurts. You know, even if you're going to have cataract surgery, it'd be nice to know what caused the cataracts, because that underlying cause then may lead to macular degeneration, glaucoma, or other health issues. That cataract is the tip of the iceberg. What is going on underneath the water in your body? If it's elevated lead, boy, we got to address that. If it's nutrition, we got to address that. If it's stress, we got to address that. Oh, what kind of records do I need to determine the type of the cataract? Well, probably just your eye doctor's notes. They usually comment the type of cataract that you have. Okay, well, we're out of time. I want to thank everybody for joining this group. And any other questions, contact the office. And I'm here to help you any way I can. And if you haven't signed up for the Vision Event 2023, I think you'll love it. We have some great speakers, a lot of good information.
And
Thanks,
it's every day.
everybody. Blessings to everybody.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.